The 2017 bull run was led by Bitcoin, but the last Bitcoin cycle was the first where we had a ton of altcoins in the mix, and some of those altcoins absolutely crushed it. Coins such as Ethereum and XRP steamrolled the competition, became very well known in the crypto space. But there was another coin many people believe actually brought on the first ever altcoin season. The question is, can this coin do it again? Today, we're talking about Litecoin and why it could be one of the biggest players in crypto for this bull market. Again, let's get it. BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap gets you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.io. Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in cryptocurrency. If you like money in crypto, make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you guys want to trade Litecoin, Cardano, VeChain, and others, make sure to check out Binance US. The site has a much bigger selection than Coinbase and cheaper fees. Visit binance.bitboy.live to check it out. In this video, we're going to be discussing the prospects for Litecoin in this bull market cycle. And at the end of this video, I'm going to be giving you my 2021 price prediction for Litecoin, so make sure to stick around until the very end. And also, guys, it's come to my attention that the like button is not being pressed. Show it some love and thumbs up this video if you like Litecoin and get some value out of what I say in this video. So I know a lot of people are new to the channel. We've grown over 30,000 subs just in the new year. I'm smart enough to know many of these newer people to the channel are not hardened and seasoned crypto veterans, better known as OGs, but the G stands for geek instead of gangsta. I believe it is vitally important for me to educate my audience, new and old alike, on the history of the last bull run, because it's very relevant to what happens today. Many coins weren't even around then that we look at now. But for those that were, it tells us a great story that we can make conclusions off of that helps us make more educated investments. Litecoin is a project that is frankly one of the oldest out there. Created in October of 2011 by former Google and Coinbase employee Charlie Lee. Litecoin is a source code fork from Bitcoin. It's not a hard fork like Bitcoin Cash or even a soft fork. It's a fork of the code. So think about a souped up version of Bitcoin. This is why it has been referred to as the silver to Bitcoin's gold. But it does hold one key attribute BTC doesn't. Litecoin has speed. Litecoin is much faster than Bitcoin in every way. But during the earliest days in crypto, the only altcoins were basically jokes and meme coins. Utility wasn't even a discussion. Out of virtual all of the earliest altcoins, Litecoin is the only one that remains. And during its time, it has been the most consistent altcoin out there outside of Ethereum. But Litecoin has done it longer, 3 years longer in fact. While the top 10 cryptocurrencies change every year by an average of 4 to 6 interchangeable coins, Litecoin's managed to stay in the top 10 virtually its whole existence. Earlier this year, it briefly slipped out, but went right back up after the PayPal news, which is huge, and we're going to get to that in a moment. But to understand that context, we have to catch you up to speed with what occurred during 2017 that propelled Litecoin into one of the most explosive coins during the last bull cycle. On May 3rd of 2017, Coinbase announced support for Litecoin, basically getting listed. Now, you young crypto hippies don't understand how bad we had it back in 2017. Today, Coinbase releases an article seemingly every month or so announcing several coin listings or potential listings. For instance, the Graph or GRT was just put on last month, and the price went up 300% in a day. But at the time Coinbase listed Litecoin, it only had 2 other coins, Bitcoin and Ethereum. That was it. The struggle was real. And you can see here on Litecoin's chart that in May, once the listing was announced, the project enjoyed a steady price increase. Then in December, when the true parabolic movement of altcoin season occurred, Litecoin shot straight up, hitting about $350 at its peak. Right now, it's less than half of that, even as Bitcoin has moved well beyond its all-time highs, and Ethereum is getting ready to eclipse its all-time highs as well. But Litecoin has a lot of room to go, and you know we love to fill some gaps on this channel. And there's a big gap between the current LTC price and that all-time high price. Bitcoin and Ethereum alone can carry Litecoin to all-time highs. In 2017, the Coinbase listing and that leg up on the competition gave LTC the spotlight and attention it needed to go parabolic. It was simply one of the easiest coins for retail investors to buy, as Coinbase was, and still is, the go-to app for US investors. But Litecoin has lost that advantage. Or has it? And I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had gone very bearish on Litecoin coming into this bull market. A lot of new projects are just straight up sexy and have pumpamentals screaming at me. But Litecoin is like that girl you dated in high school. Well, at least those of you who could get one before the last 2 months. She was kind of boring. She didn't drink, didn't smoke. She definitely wasn't easy. When you were 18, or at least if you were like I was at that time, that sounded boring as crap. You would have dated her just long enough to realize you weren't going to be able to wreck her morals. But as a grown man with a family, that's just the kind of woman that you want. Right now, you may be saying, nah, I'll stick with the floozy I'm with. But you see, when you mature, you start to see the sexy and boring, the sexy inconsistency, the sexy insecurity. Litecoin was boring as crap over the bear market. But guess what? So is Ethereum. As bullish as I am on Ethereum now, 2018 through most of 2019, I actually thought the flaws of Ethereum would cause them to get passed by now. But I was wrong. I didn't take the size of the community, the skill of their developers, or the massive head start they had into consideration. Now I feel silly for ever believing that Tron or EOS or even IOST would have a chance to surpass Ethereum. It sounds asinine right now. But all through 2019 and even especially 2020, Litecoin has been there, consistent. Even with little fanfare, it still managed to hang with the likes of Cardano, BNB, and Chainlink, besting them out to be the number 5 current cryptocurrency, and briefly this week, the number 4 crypto is at flipping XRP on the chart. And I expect XRP to continue to fall in the rankings, as I just don't believe until the SEC lawsuit is over that it can get the huge pumps that it needs in order to maintain its ranking. Litecoin has this little knack for doing just enough to stay in the top 10. One reason I saw Litecoin not having a tremendous bull market is that, in my opinion, it had lost the thing that made it great in 2017. The first mover advantage over other altcoins outside of Ethereum due to the early Coinbase listing. But then we got the PayPal news, and it was enormous for LTC. At that point in time, it just so happened that Litecoin had that rare drop outside the top 10 on CoinMarketCap. Then PayPal announced that it would be offering support for the same 4 initial coins that Coinbase supported: BTC, ETH, BCH, and that's right, Litecoin. To me, this was a signal that the professional side of crypto and finance respects Litecoin, doesn't expect it to ever be classified as a security, and feels it is relevant enough for investors to want to buy it on the digital payment provider's platform. And that 350 million person advantage PayPal has over other exchanges is not a small thing. For the price of assets to rise, people have to have access to buy them en masse. Will this PayPal listing provide the same type of advantage the Coinbase listing in 2017 provided Litecoin with? And I believe that it will. But I started realizing this could even signal an even bigger bull sign for Litecoin. I alluded to a third coin institutional investors will move on. If you missed my institutional FOMO video, make sure to check it out by clicking the link above. But I spent a lot of time thinking about what coin institutions could FOMO into after Bitcoin and Ethereum. My initial thought, honestly, was Litecoin. But then my grandpa called me. He said,
"Son,"
because, he always calls me son. Anyways, he said,
"Son, what is this Litecoin? I was just watching the business channel and they were talking about Ethereum and Litecoin."
And that's when it hit me. Remember, and say it with me, boring is sexy. Institutions don't want coins that could be sued by the SEC. They want known commodities. And compared to the rest of the altcoin market, Litecoin is light years ahead of most of them. And I believe that this could lead Litecoin to the top of the markets again. I can tell you this, I'm buying Litecoin right now. Just did it today. It's fun to try to pick the next coins to reach new all-time highs. We nailed it with Bitcoin, and we believe we're going to nail it with Ethereum, if not by the time this video is released. Litecoin is so far away from its all-time high that it could be the best short-term opportunity out there. But what about long-term, over the rest of the bull market? I originally had stated I believe Litecoin would be able to reach about $1,000 per coin. But with the super bullish action we've seen combined with the factors mentioned in this video, my official Litecoin prediction is $2,400 per coin. That's about a 15x from here, but only about an 8x from its previous all-time high, which is totally obtainable. But if institutions really get a hold of LTC, then watch out, because it could go even higher. But let me know what you think about Litecoin and drop some suggestions on which other coins you want to see price predictions for. That's all I got. Be blessed. Way out.